Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode on the Reloaded server. We're up to episode 10, I believe. We've finally hit double digits after about 2 months, and we are starting things off in the stadium. Now, there is a very important change that you can see, or you can't actually see yet in the stadium, but it is going to bring a bit of a light to this area, and we're going to be able to show this once it gets dark, so probably a little bit away, but we're going to quickly head downstairs or down here, because we have a little bit of things we would like to do down here while we wait. Actually, you can see the lights. So what I've done actually is these lights mark out the most of the lines on the surface level, and it will keep the entire stadium slightly lit up, so there aren't so many dark spots on the ground. You can, however, see that there is a bit of a dark spots through here and here on each of the two, what we would call the wings of the ground, and then either end of the scoring ends. So probably something to work on there. But what I want to do here is work with this giant space to try and get a little bit more of the team areas that we need to work on today. So what I've done is I split this down the middle, and I'm going to split and probably do a fair bit of stuff here. So what I've got is white concrete powder, and I'm going to mark out a few areas. So oof, I just had lunch. So something like this. So if I just mark out, say, a room of this size, like so, and then designate each one with a certain purpose. So, for example, this one might be the meeting room before they head up the stairs to the ground itself, and then there might be some showers over here, and another meeting room or a group room. There might be a locker room, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try and work out what I want to do with it. Now, the two layouts for each side are going to be slightly different because of the way I've built these things. I put the walkways on the same bit of curvature on each side. However, both of them curve round to the left. So this one goes left and this one goes left, meaning that when we get to the bottom, the sides are not symmetrical, which is going to be a little bit irksome because I did want to kind of make things identical, but you know, it's going to be a little bit of an issue for me to change it, or let's just put it this way, I can't be bothered changing it now that I've built it, or at least put the stairs in, so that's just going to have to stay until I get really annoyed and change it later. So let's get started on figuring out where we want these rooms to go. Well, it took me a couple of hours to get the layout that I was hoping for, and this probably still will not be the final design as I just shift the things just a tiny bit, but let's just go through a bit of a tour. So the other side is more or less the same. It's not quite mirrored, but it has almost the same dimensions. So over here we've got a main room where all the players can celebrate or commiserate after a win, and a bit of just a gathering area. So over here we've got ourselves a team meeting room where the coach can give a bit of a final briefing or mid-game briefing, etc. Over here, which isn't actually accessible at the moment, are going to be the bathroom / toilets. Yes, they're right next to each other, so the water pipes in theory don't have to go so far. Over here we've got the locker room. Let me just get over here. We've got the locker room, presumably the change room. I probably will put a bit of a privacy area back here so people can change without being open to everyone else. Over here we've got a medical room where the doctors can set up things as well. A rub down room I think I've got over here. No, that's a spare room. I don't have yet a space for that one. I've got a rub down room so people can get rubbed down by all the what do we call it, the physio, so they can warm up their muscles or cool down their muscles, etc. Might make their rooms a bit smaller. Then back here, I was thinking this is going to be where the team buses or whatnot can come in. So it will be probably a road, but where it comes out to is still up for question because it's quite a fair way down, and I'm not sure I want to do a road that actually is accessible to the open public. Yeah, it's a bit up in the air. So I'm also quite glad I built this tunneled this out quite a fair bit, because what it means is that I can go, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've still got a fair bit of room to do some other bits. So that this is only for the teams, and then I can have a layer that's just below the ground for the spectators of the sport. So that bit's going to come later once I've actually built a little bit more of the team ground bits. But I think we've got a good start there. Now you might also notice I've finally got some goat horns. I've got Steak, which I'm not sure if you were able to hear that. And I've also got, what's this one? Sing, which sounds like, which I think is probably the better one. A person named by the name of Aidask, A-I-D-A-S-K, who recently joined the server. Actually, I think they are in their first couple of days in the server. They very kindly gave me a couple, and we talked a little bit about things here. So I'm very thankful to Aidask to help, who gave me these goat horns, and I really like that one. As you can see, I have gone around and now changed all the white concrete powder for blackstone, which I think will make a better, a rim of the flooring, just to set it off a little bit. Then I've got the white concrete, which is going to be all the way along through here and through all the walls. Now, I did want to do wood for the bottom, probably birch or oak, but I think that's going to turn out to be incredibly expensive, so I'm probably not going to do that. I have checked out the shopping district, and it turns out you can buy shulkers of wood for 9 diamonds, or a diamond block, but I am going to need a ton of wood just to do this layer, and it cost me about half my diamonds to get 1 shulker of everything except, or all the overworld woods except acacia, which is slightly irksome because I did want acacia as well. But oh well, I think we can cope without it. It's just going to look a little bit odd without that particular kind of red, but I think we can cope with that particularly well. So what I'm going to do here, I think, is try and build out. Actually, I could buy just another shulker box because I do have the cash, even though I am starting to run low once again. But I think what would it be like if I started putting in the oak logs down here, just the stripped oak logs that is, and then see how much it's going to take me to do this. I'm estimating probably around 9 to 18 stacks of logs, which is a lot, so we'll see what happens. After finding a bit of oak logs in my spare chest all over the place, I've put it in these area. It was about 1 stack and a little bit more, and it only netted me 3 lines. So, if my calculations are correct, I'm going to need at least 6 stacks just to do this room, and that doesn't say anything for the rest of the room. So I might do a different floor for the rest of them, but with 12 stacks on both on this side and the other side, it's going to be a really costly place to do here. So I might leave that for the time being until I can afford a couple more shulker boxes of oak logs. So yeah, let's just leave it for the time being. What I want to do here now is to start work on some of these seating bits, which I've been neglecting for a little while. So the idea is, just like over there, to get a random assortment of these 6 types of wood and acacia if I can get it, and scatter it across the stadium. Oh, sorry, had a bit of sneeze coming on there. So yes, the plan is to spread it all the way around here, slowly but surely, and then start work on building up the rest of the stadium. So I may need to figure out exactly how tall I want this thing, because from here to there I did want a little bit more space. But on the other side, it's not going to matter so much because I don't have anything structured there. So probably a little bit of not very good forward planning over here, but we will have to work with it, given that I don't really want to tear those things down, and I don't really want to have to move the entire stadium. So yeah, a little bit of planning there. But let's get started on doing these seating. Hopefully you enjoyed that little time lapse of me just placing lots and lots of these little stairs things. I think they look a lot better. The stadium looks a lot better with the seating the way it is now and the mottled pattern I've got. So hopefully I haven't got any of the two kind of seats right next to each other with the just to give it a little bit more of a different feel. If I had all the same ones right next to each other, like for example this entire section is dark oak, it just wouldn't look as good. I tried. So what I want to do now as well is put in some bits for the people to get up and down through the stadium. So bits like this, where it's just a half slab to make it go around up and down. So I'm thinking as well, possibly one here, going up around where the player entrance is, and maybe it'll curve up to here as well. So it'll come up here as well, and continue around like that. So it's just going to be a bit of it's going to be a bit random where I put them, but it is going to kind of make sense, I hope, where they do go. So a little bit more thinking to do around here and what happens. And before I forget to show you this bit, off camera I have actually finally managed to get this villager working. He is only doing that small little section, and I think he is still trying to put stuff in there, which is slightly annoying, but I think as far as I'm aware, he is still farming away. So if we just come down into our collection area, we had about 7 stacks. We had up to around here, and as you can see, he has continued to dump a bit of wheat. We've got probably about 2 stacks from that guy. So, and I've been playing here for probably about an hour or so. So probably not the best return, but I'm hoping that once I get a couple more villagers in here and have put in a few more, they will start working more efficiently. So that should hopefully shore up my wheat supplies for a time being. A little bit more time has passed and I have started work on what's going to be the entrances for my stadium. So what I was thinking is similar to what I did in the Bedrock series, is I'm going to have 8 entrances, so 1 on each of the flat entrances, flat bits, so round here, and there's one of these on each corner, I guess you could say, of the stadium. So 1 there, 1 approximately there, 1 behind those goals there, and a 4th one there. So those will be the main 4 entrances for the ground level ones. Then approximately halfway through here, probably on this straight diagonal bit here, I'm planning to have another entrance, which is going to be straight, which will lead up to the 2nd or 3rd and 4th levels. And I possibly should have a private entrance for all the other bits. So there's a lot of other things that go into here, like commentary boxes, which is probably going to be on the second, possibly 3rd level. So quite a bit of future planning to go. So this is going to go quite a bit up, and I would think possibly not quite as high as those, but we shall see how it goes. So what I've done here is I might quickly sleep so we can see it quite nicely. After a little bit of adjustment, I've got this little solution here. So I've got the sit, we've got a little bit of a mod, I think, that where we can sit. So I'm just going to quickly jump up if I can. How do I jump? There we go. So I'm going to sit on the lower half of the stair if I can. There we go. So that is approximately where someone would be sitting. And then of course we've got the wheelchair accessible areas up here, which I've decided to lower just a little bit just to make this thing look a little bit nicer. So it is at a slight gradient, and in theory a wheelchair should be able to sit here. But yeah, I really don't know what the scale would be for someone sitting in one as compared to the body itself. So it's a little bit up in the air. It does mean I'm once again sacrificing this little bit of spots here. But yeah, it's not quite it, and I may need to have only a couple of these, so maybe 1 here or 1 there, and then the other 2 spots will have a little bit more entrance. Yes, as I said, yeah, I'm really limited with this space here, so maybe this spot won't have wheelchair access and the rest do. It's kind of up in the air. Yeah, really not sure yet. And a little bit of time has passed and I've got myself what I think is a somewhat reasonable entrance. The grey concrete probably isn't the best building material, and I probably should mix it up with a little bit of some other building material. How about a bit of tuff? Yeah, that sort of works. The problem is I also have tough OSA in here, so that's kind of two building materials for the same different kinds of things. So not entirely sure that's going to work as well, but even the addition of the tough has made it just a little bit more. Actually, it makes it stand out a little bit better, actually. So that is an improvement. So what I've got here is, so I think it's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entrances for the able-bodied people, and then a slightly wider entrance over here for people who would be in wheelchairs. Although as all of us in Minecraft can actually walk properly, it may actually not be necessary, but you do need to think about these things if you are building a full structure like this. So here's my, hopefully, an attempt to try and get those who might be in wheelchairs into the structure. So hopefully that works, although I haven't really worked about how they're going to get down here and then into here. So yeah, a little bit of thinking to do. My thinking here was that there'd be a bit of a glass here, possibly like say red glass, and then wheelchairs can pull up here and they've still got a reasonable view, actually a very good view of what's going on down the field, because these seats are actually, or these standing rooms, actually some of the best places in the ground. Of course, behind the goals is pretty good as well. So now that I think about it, that's actually not a bad spot to be. Yes, as you can see, what I've done here is replace the floor with polished deep slate, which I think looks a lot better. It has a lot more of a connected feel, and the tiles fit a lot more closer to each other than the deep slate and polished deep slate and whatnot do. I've also extended this out a little bit more to give myself just a little bit more entrance room, because I'm not exactly sure that this is going to be quite enough to go around. Then I've had to do a little bit of a staircase, a sharper drop here, followed by the more shallow drop here. I'm not entirely satisfied with this wall here, but there's a bit of a sacrifice to be made. Unfortunately, I haven't really thought well about how I'm going to do this, so I might need to pull this back all the way up to this entrance here and just sacrifice a little bit more space, but that's a bit of future planning. So what I think I will do as well is I'll show you what I was thinking. So with the entrance, I'm going to have every third block with a pillar, not every third, not every second. So something like this, and so on. Then I have some glass on me. No, I don't. I've got glass somewhere around here, I think. And they're in this one. Not that one. I know I put it in here somewhere just before I started recording. Maybe it was this one. There we go. So the grey stained glass will do as a temporary measure to show what I'm thinking. So we're going to have the entrance such like that, and then the glass coming out like this to mimic open doors to allow the people to come in. And if I can get myself out again. This is not going as well as I thought it would. There we go. So if the doors are going to be closed, which they can be, they'd be like that. So I may leave the doors open for the time being, and that allows me access to the entire stadium. This video has already turned out a little bit longer than I thought it would take. I just lost track of time and lost track of how much time I've actually been recording and all that. So hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly longer episode. We're actually going to cut it there, even though I had a few more things that I did want to get done today. So we're probably just going to do those off camera and get back to you very shortly in the next week. So I should say thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Till then, goodbye.